This was kind of continuous from my last video, but I ended up emasculating people, and I just kind of went out with like a bang, so I had to end the video. So you could see I didn't move here, and I got wrinkled on film, and then I had it reduced, like my rings diminished anyways. They didn't completely disappear because they pretend that I have more than one brain, and then more than that, there's more than one human body connected to me. Right, so you can see with the brain-computer interface how my body's changing. So I'm just going to show you that DNA transfer and sharing attributes is possible, and I'm clearly on the victimization end because my previous video, basically with electromagnetic waves, are capable of affecting the visual primary cortex and but through nerve stimulus, and then making the blind able to see, using different techniques. I'll just read the exact screenshot that I've taken here. So I'll just show you first, before I do that, I'll show you how people are able to share attributes. So it says DNA can be transferred between organisms and even within the same organisms through various mechanisms, resulting in the sharing of genetic attributes. So that shows that it's possible. So that's what I left out anyways, because the electromagnetic waves could transmit information with nanotechnology, with the biomolecular communication devices within the brain, which could then stimulate the visual primary cortex to create visual perception, making so the blind are able to see. So I'm theoretically able to, this says yes, it's theoretically possible for me to solve blindness with technology. So it proves that I'm capable of doing this, and I'm able to route it through the visual primary cortex better than any neurosurgeon on the planet. I'll just show the technology right there, and for all aspiring, right, so that we could get a co-Nobel Prize. But anyway, so clearly my name is Christian Meyer, and I'm being victimized with the fact that brain-computer interface and remote patient monitoring is capable of hijacking the human experience and hijacking my body. I'll just show you the proof of that. So yes, brain-computer interface technology, particularly when combined with remote patient monitoring, can potentially help patients walk. Therefore, the spinal, especially those with spinal cord injury or other motor impairment. So if they could help patients walk, that means they could hijack an unsuspected human as well. And once again, DNA transfers and genetic sharing is possible. So what they do in Canada, I'll just show you how they have a profiling system. So you can see how right there, that's what I would look like, my face, Christian Meyer. That's subliminal on a public sidewalk in Toronto. And this face right here, at the top here, I had to fake them, the human hijackers, so they can't pretend to me. The face at the top is to show that I should get all my attributes restored, and all my money, basically, and all my intellectual property, from all my intellectual property. And this is an ashtray at the bottom that shows this was in my personal residence. And so I'm complaining about parasitic humans that are able to steal DNA with transfers and then have attribute sharing. And Stephanie Meyer, the exact same spelling as my last name, wrote a book about parasitic aliens. So what are the chances, right? And computer-assisted telepathy is possible. Like, there's several videos on there. All you have to do is type in computer-assisted telepathy. And so with this particular pattern right here, you can see what their vision's doing, you can see what their hearing's doing, you can see what their heart is doing, and then what their brain's doing, what their blood pressure's doing. And it's called medical data. Right there you see banned medical data, and it can all be interpreted over a cell phone. So nowadays with nanotechnologies, it can be installed in your body, like by if you feel a little prick on your skin, or if you feel a dab of liquid on your skin, or you can eat it, drink it, or breathe it in. Right, so I'm at the Syria hospital, and they're saying that I have a mental health issue, which I don't, because what they do is they profile people and they rape them, and with genetic DNA transfers, these people that hijacked my body, they would be responsible for any occurrences that have ever happened in my life, and they need to be brought to justice. And so when I present to myself, they say that I have schizoaffective disorder, which typically only women get. So normally my voice is soft, but this is my natural voice. When I'm a 47-year-old man, they broadcast estrogen, and they have women connected to me to add estrogen to my body and to reduce my penis size. Because when women are connected to me, my penis constricts. And this is how much money the Canadian government and the world government spends to reduce my penis size every day. And when I was circumcised as a baby, instead of just taking the foreskin off, they tapered my penis. I have a scar the entire length of my penis. I first became aware of it when I was 7 years old, and it's on the back of my penis. So it's like looking at the back of your knee, right? You don't look at the back of your knee. And then so I first seen it at 7 years old, and I forgot about it till 2019. So anyways, I'll just read this letter from, I had a lawyer, but I challenged the doctor, and I'll just read what she said here. Mrs. Lukens was her name. Yes, I would like to keep it brief. I would like the board to note that my client is not at risk to harm himself or others, or that evidence supporting serious physical impairment may not arise to the level of being clear, cogent, and compelling in order to keep him under the grounds box B. I defer to the evidence given by my client that was very fulsome today, and on behalf of my client, Christian Meyer, I ask the board to revoke his involuntary status. So very fulsome means it's a complimentary way of saying that I did a job well done, right? And with schizoaffective disorder, I'm supposed to have disorganized thinking, and they hacked my brain here. Like, that was the human rapist. You're like schizoaffective disorder. You're supposed to have disorganized thinking. You're not supposed to be able to logically progress and go through that, thoughts. You're supposed to be talk about okay, well, I'm going fishing, and then now I want to ski. I'm going to go skiing, right? So that's being sarcastic. So here's how they pretend to use that in the future, guys. But that's what schizoaffective disorder, that you have hallucinations, delusions, and that you have disorganized thinking. And the doctor, Chin-Edu Ogbonna, it's Cinedu is his first name, and then Ogbonna, Ogbonna. He says, he has delusions, his psychosis by refusing blood investigations. So blood investigations is a fancy way of saying blood work, and he's a psychiatrist. And in Canada, and he's like, well, his family has a history of diabetes. And in Canada, we have general practitioners that diagnose people for physical ailments, right? So that's out of his scope and realm for as a psychiatrist. He's not trained. And first of all, blood tests aren't 100% accurate in diagnosing diabetes. They're not 100% accurate, and it was just a ruse. The Canadian government offered to buy my blood off me in the past, right? It's a ruse, right? And with overdiagnosis, not trusting him. He's a doctor, psychiatrist, and I'll just show you right now, psychiatry is not an exact science. It's not an exact science. Right, an exact science is 2 + 2 = 4. Psychiatry is not an exact science; it's subjective. So let's see. Is psychiatry an exact science? I posted a video because he's like he believes he's biologically immortal, and he thinks if he gets hit by a car, he won't die because he's king. And so I'll just play that video right here to prove that. This is the video that he tried to reference. This is where he got the information, but he wasn't able to detect sarcasm. And detecting sarcasm is a sign of a healthy mind. And in the Neural Image magazine, I'll play after this video, I'll show you that it shows that sarcasm is a healthy mind, and it was published February 9th, 2024. So in this video, I say most of my videos are serious. So I'm going to make one not so serious. So that would mean the opposite of serious is farcical, comical, funny, joking around. And then so after I say most of my videos are serious, this one's not so serious, I'm going to stop these cars with my mind. And on film, you couldn't see that my hand was out. And you can see here, this was made in March 24th, 2019. This was in Denmark when I made this video. And so you can see a European car, and he said, I sought asylum in 2017. So he can't get his facts straight. He said, I was diagnosed with schizophrenia in 2017 at 40, and I'm almost 40 years old, and I was released after a few days of observation. But now that I'm 47, he wants to keep me for 2 months if I fail, and he gets to justify medicating me. So when I searched online, it's unreasonable for somebody that has been medicated before and showed a successful history with the medication to be under observation for 2 months. He's an idiot. He for my admission notes, he calls it amdissens. Christian Eric Meyer goes by Smarticus, and Dr. Chin-Edu Ogbonna is stupido. he goes by ambitions, and he thinks that Christian Eric Arnie Meyer doesn't have anxiety. He has anxiety. ANCIETY. That's Chinadu on Bono. Stupido versus Smartickish Christian Eric Arnie Meyer, the guy that theoretically cured blindness with technology and proved that with remote patient monitoring, the human body can be hijacked and manipulated and orchestrated. And my last video, so I proved that self-talk voice could be amplified and heard remotely. So I'll show you after this video.
I'm posting a lot of serious videos, so I'm going to post one that's not so serious. I'm going to stop these cars with my mind.
So you can hear how I changed the tone of my voice. That's sarcasm. So watch, the cars are about 30 meters away from me. They were at a red light. I had zero chance of getting hit. They could see me. I had my hand out. The only way I would have gotten hit is if they were distracted. They had their eyes closed, or if they were blindfolded or something like that, then I possibly could have got hit. But I was watching the driver to make sure I wouldn't have got hit. I would have moved out of the way. But once again, in his notes, he said, I can't wait to sue for defamation of character. He said that, that I think I'm biologically immortal, and since I'm king, I wouldn't get hit by the car because of my mind, or, I'm paraphrasing it now, but he basically said I'm biologically immortal and I wouldn't die because I'm king, and they wouldn't hit me because of that. Right? He lies. So this would just be a moment here, so I'm just going to pause this. So while not a standard feature, all remote monitoring patient systems is now technically feasible to convert a person's self-talk into text or audio speech recognition and natural language processing technologies. So I'll just show you that self-talk is a fancy way of saying your internal voice. So that means they know how to listen to your internal voice. They know how to hijack your human body, and these people pretend to be another person, and so here's where self-talk is considered to be your internal voice. They pretend to be another person, and they can share attributes remotely. And Stephanie Meyer wrote a book about parasitic aliens, and I, Christian Eric Arnie Meyer, I'm saying that there's parasitic humans that are stealing my attributes. They pretend to be me, like on Form 33 in Canada, under the Mental Health Act. It says are not capable to consent to a mental health disorder, basically. But it should be is not capable, because are is plural and is singular. So I'm one individual. And then so are is more than one individual. So that means they pretend that I'm a woman at times. And if not, my natural voice would be like this. If my ex-wife, my aunt said, wow, your voice is so loud. I'm not going to whisper for people. I'm not going to whisper. I'm not going to stop my masculinity for people. At 40, I'll just show you right now. So the Canadian government's going to have problems, right? When I was in Windsor, I could tell that my right leg unregistered, but they registered me with my left leg. I wasn't aware that they were pretending that it was two different people at that point. But Dr. Ogbonna, he's like, his circumcision scar, then her removed her shirt to show her sternum. So he called me a he and a her many times, because, and once again, on Form 33, they say are, right, instead of is. And as if no doctor realized that it should have been is. They're supposed to be competent. Is a 40, I should have forgot this while I was talking, right, because they were broadcasting digital impulses through the screen, and I should have forgot this, but it is a 47-year-old male, or I guess does a 47-year-old male, it's better, does a 47-year-old male typically need or have lower testosterone levels. Yes, a 47-year-old male typically experiences experiences gradual decline in testosterone level. While this is the normal part of aging, while the decline is natural, it can lead to symptoms like decreased libido, fatigue, and changes in the mood. About 40% over 45 may have testosterone levels below what are considered normal ranges for younger adults, but not all experience symptoms. So once again, they use digital impulses. I'll just show you that it's possible. Digital impulses make it so people could forget. They could administer medication and they could hack your brain with it basically. But it's called function magnetic resonance imaging. So they're able to jam people's brainwaves basically. So I'll just show you that. So I'm just going to show you here. So yes, televisions, computers, and cell phones all emit digital impulses in the form of electromagnetic radiation through varying levels of frequencies. So just show, like I had to show that because prior to like the fact that with computational medication, they could with digital impulses they could activate nanotechnology in drug delivery remotely, basically. Okay, so yes, theoretically, computational medical could be leveraged by digital impulses to trigger nanotechnology-based drug delivery. So if you could give people drugs, right? Like just think some drugs are good and some are harmful. So in this. I may not have showed it in this one. I just happened to hit left, so I'm just going to repeat myself. I did like cover quite a few things, and they're using digital impulses to hack my brain. You'll see with the fMRI imaging in a few seconds here how they could input words and cause problems. But yes, theoretically, it's possible to use nanotechnology for direct visual input into the brain. This combination of nanotechnology will allow a camera-like device to capture images and then transmit it to the brain via the nanoscale and interfaces within the optical visual cortex. So basically with electromagnetic radiation, they could broadcast frequencies using nanotechnology, biomolecular communication, and then it could be transmitted to the primary visual cortex with different interfaces. Okay, so this is fMRI signals can be used to input words. And then scientists decode brainwaves to eavesdrop on what we hear. So this shows that it's proof. And so I did say how I was going to show you how in the Journal of Neural Image magazine that recognizing sarcasm was a sign of a healthy mind. So I'm trying to cover up as many things. I only get my cell phone I have to hand my cell phone. It's 4:30. I have to hand it. I only get it for an hour a day. So all my videos, I'm always rushed. It's not because I have any mental health diagnosis. If you listen to any of my other videos when I'm not in the hospital, I'm not rushed because I'm not on a time limit. So I'm just going to look for the magazine here. So anyways, when I went to the CCB hearing and I try to talk to, so here's where it says blood tests for diabetes are not 100% accurate for diagnosis. So I'm just looking for how recognizing sarcasm of a healthy mind. So I'm just kind of going through my screenshot. But anyways, when I was in the CCB hearing, they kept on interrupting me to prevent me from having a cohesive thought, basically. So that was digital impulses, and with fMRI images, and it shows that they could implant words. So people tend to be me with brain-computer interface and remote patient monitoring. They don't even know what biomolecular communication is. So it's generally best to rely on a medical doctor or general practitioner in a relevant field for the opinions on physical conditions. So I'm still looking, I'm just going through here. So he makes lots of typos, Dr. Akbana. And so once again, he says ambidistance and anxiety and degrandiose and all this stuff. So in Alberta and other parts of Canada, these errors can result in severe health consequences, including hospitalization, long-term injury, or even death, right? So why would I trust a doctor that wants me to get blood work for diabetes and he could give me a prescription that could make me die because of his typos and spelling mistakes? And more than once he said ambidistance, right? So when you make like a D on the keyboard is on the other, like you use your left hand, and M is you use your right hand for M, basically. So I'm still looking here. So I'm just going through all my pictures here to find the Neural Image magazine. So subliminal images basically could influence somebody's brain or activity, their brain or behavior. So George Orwell wrote a book about the thought police in 1949 because people have been able to listen to your thoughts for a long time. Telepathy was coined in 1882. So I just showed him, CHINEDU Akbana. So if he tries to use DNA transfer or genetic attribute sharing through me. So if I'm not able to communicate, it's because of his primitive little intellect, and he has like a grade 7 IQ level. And let's see, so freedom of thought and Charter of Rights for Canada, that means that we're supposed to be able to have privacy of thought, or self-talk with it, so it should be private. So let's see. So that's what I look like. That's on the left, that's the last German emperor. You can see how I look like his twin. And this is the second last British king. You can see how I look like his twin. And this is the third last. This would have been the third last British king. I look like his twin. This is the second last British king. I look like his twin. Beneath biology, here's nanotechnology that's left in my mucus. And Folsom for the doctor, a lawyer by me. Different subliminal. So I'm gonna do a Google search really soon if I can't find it, because I'm almost at the end of my notes here. So I'm gonna just show you once again. I've been looking the entire time to see like that. Must be some other screenshots. I've been looking the entire time that show that recognizing sarcasm is a sign of a healthy mind. So it must be in the screenshots. So I'll just go through a couple of them. So testosterone levels, so the psychiatry is not considered an exact science. Self-talk is considered your internal voice. And this is my last videos. Yes, carnies, people who work at carnivals are sometimes considered clowns, or individuals that wear masks. And the current Canadian Prime Minister, his name's Mark Carney, and he's a clown, and he wears a mask because he pretends to be an upstanding individual that doesn't use brain-computer interface to rape my human experience. So let's see, upload, brain-computer interface, okay, television, okay, I'm gonna search. So this was the royal wedding that my family went to, and I'm a descendant of it. So that's typical biology. Oh, here we go. A psychologist explains the irresistible appeal of sarcasm. A study in the Neuroimage magazine reveals that recognizing sarcasm signals a healthy mind, and sarcasm is a versatile communication tool. And guess what, guys? My name is Smarticus, and I'm the Greek god of sarcasm, and Stupido is my nemesis, Dr. Chinadu Ogbana at the Syria Hospital, who makes medicinal notes, and he thinks that people have anxiety. And they're degrandiose, and he thinks that Christian Eric Arnie Meyer needs emergency house, not housing. He's an idiot. He is an idiot.